Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and if we haven't met before, I'm a busy mom of two active kids, and both my husband and I have full-time careers. My goal is to share with you how I stay on top of all life throws at me in one planner so that you might be able to do the same. And this may be a little bit of a shocking video because I never thought that I would want to try out a bound planner again. But I've seen a lot of videos and they have been very enticing, so I did pick up a 2024 Hobonichi Cousin. And I'm going to gradually start using and playing around with this notebook to see if it could possibly replace my planner in 2026. But the price tag was a little high to get a 2025 Hobonichi Cousin just to play around in, so I did pick up a 2024 that was highly discounted. But I'm hoping that it doesn't skew my opinion of it too much since I will have to put in some extra work redating things. I did purchase this planner so I could have a little fun in it. And the first thing I'm going to do is decorate the cover. I feel like the majority of people at least put some sort of stickers on their cover. So I did decide that I would do that as well. And I also wanted to cover up the fact that it said 2024. So if it stuck around for a while, I did not get confused about what year I was actually using this in. So I went ahead and grabbed my scrapbooking papers that were all text-based, and I was debating between the two of these because one is thick and one is more just a normal paperweight. But I did go ahead and land on the cardstock because I thought it would be A, more durable, and B, I just liked how it looked better with the spine color. And I was not planning on covering up the entire spine. I was just going to go until the edge where the cover naturally would bend open. So I'm going to grab my Fiskars paper trimmer and cut part of this paper down to size. I do like that right side better. I don't love that red text that's going on the left side of the page, so I am cutting down the right side of the page to fit on the planner itself. And I did start by cutting it a little bit big and then trimming it down just to make sure that I had my numbers right. And then I will also trim for the height of the planner as well. And once I feel like it's the right size for the planner cover, I will go ahead and put my paper trimmer away. No matter how big my desk is, I always feel like I'm out of space. And thankfully, I have a little shelf just underneath my desk where I can keep all of my bigger tools. And speaking of bigger tools, this is my Scotch ATG tape gun, and I love it because I go through a lot of tape. And if I were just using the smaller tape rollers, I would end up going through a lot of those. So I prefer to use the ATG, especially for bigger jobs. And there is a little bit of a seam here that I am trying to line my paper up against. And I could have left it a little long and then trimmed it by hand, but I don't love trimming things by hand. Then I just go around and rub off any extra adhesive. And I can see that there is a little bit around the corners that I need to trim and a little bit along one edge. So I will grab my scissors and trim that up. And all of my scissors could use a good cleaning, get that extra adhesive cleaned off. So these purple scissors don't quite do the job, so I will grab my Tim Holtz scissors with the smaller blade. The only thing that I don't love about the red-handled ones is they do leave a bit of serration on some types of paper. Here, where I can butt the edge of the blade up against the book and trim, it isn't so bad, but there are some papers that it kind of leaves a serrated edge, which of course I do not like. But now that I have my background paper down, I'm going to just flip through all of my stickers, and I will speed this up because it does take me a few minutes to flip through all of these stickers. My daughter wanted some for a water bottle, I think is where they originally came from. And then I just started getting random stickers from orders that I got and things like that. So there are quite a few here in this pile, and I will just flip through them and decide which ones are contenders to go on the planner cover. I am looking for a balance of text or quotes and other images, so I'm trying to keep that in mind as I flip through the stickers. I did also place an order with Coffee Monsters Co. around Black Friday. I think it might have been Saturday or Sunday, but that has not come in yet, and I'm not sure when it'll come in. So I don't want to wait for those necessarily, but I do know that I ordered a 2025 sticker. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to leave room for that. But since I don't know exactly how much space I'm going to need, I I'm just gonna wing it, I guess. And then these last few stickers are from Elsie Bryn Designs, and I love her stuff and I love her patterns. In fact, I just got another package from her today because I wanted some more desk mats for my desk. Now my desk is completely covered, so I'm loving it. But I did end up using the stickers that I had ordered from her shop, and then I took a few away and just rearranged things so that I liked how they were laid out a little bit better. I did like the jar with the palm trees in it, but I ended up not keeping that. Instead, I decided to use the coffee cup and then leave a little bit of space for the 2025 sticker that hopefully will fit there in the space that I'm going to leave for it. If not, I can always come back through and print my own sticker or find a different sticker that can fit in that space. I do struggle to get the backing off of these stickers, so I did grab my pokey tool so that I could get that backing removed without putting too much time and effort into it. And some of these stickers have a white background and others are more clear, and I did not mind that. I liked how the florals kind of blended in with the background, and the butterfly will do the same thing, but I liked how they were a little bit different, but not drastically different. But I think it turned out okay overall. I'll just keep my fingers crossed that the 2025 fits in the space that I left it. So I love how this looks, and I do not have a clear cover like a lot of the other YouTubers have, so I am just going to work with what I have now. And again, on this inside page, it does say 2024, and I debated covering it up, whiting it out, and instead I just went in with a pen and acted like I was an editor, crossed off the 2024 and wrote in 2025. And I'm not sure if this will ever leave my desk, but I do want to set it up like it would, because again, it's hard for me to actually know if a planner is going to work for me if I don't try to use it to the fullest for a little bit. And originally I was just going to white out the 4, and it did not bleed through. Sometimes you can see the white out shadow from behind and you couldn't. So I just decided to white out the year altogether on these pages. And on these pages, I'm planning on using this as kind of an index so that if I write something out on a specific day and I want to remember where I wrote it, I will note that in that quote unquote index area. So for the monthly pages, I do like how they are grid, but again, I will have to renumber the entire month. And I'm okay with that. I don't love that the weekends are different colors. And then it does have 3 months of 2015. So I'm thinking that maybe I will take the pages that I have in my planner now that are extra and tape them in there. But we'll have to see about how taping things in expands the notebook. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not. Here, I'm just whiting out all the days of the week. I am loving that this whiteout tape, even though the paper isn't a true white, it blends in very well. So I'm just going to be able to go back in and write the dates over top. And for this, I am just using a Papermate Flare, which is a felt tip pen in dark gray to write the numbers back out because it felt like it went a little better with the page than a dark black. The next thing that I need to do is cover up this calendar. It is from last year, so I will find a sticker in just my extra sticker book that I can use to cover up this calendar. And most of the stickers that I have in that extras sticker book are not any specific sizes because I tend to size my own stickers. So I will cut this down just a little bit so that it fits better in that sidebar. But I think it would be fairly easy to print out a weekly theme like I do now and just size them slightly differently and still be able to use this weekly spread each week this year. I will also color in the 2024 with that gray pen, and you can barely see that there was anything there because that is a very good match. And I am not necessarily going to worry about theme colors right now. I am more concerned with what pens will actually work in this planner. So I have the dual tip dot marker, I have a Tombow. This is my Zinto pen, and it writes beautifully, but it does not dry fast enough for this paper. I will just give a little spoiler alert now. But I am just going to kind of roughly sketch in how I would use these pages so that I can see which markers work, which markers don't, if the layout itself will work for me, and if there are just any gotchas that would bother me as I was laying out my spread. I do like the Tombows. I'm not the greatest at drawing lines with them yet, but I could see those working. I also do not have a lot of color options in the Tombows. So if this was a planner that I decided to start using regularly, I would invest in more Tombow markers. And then, as you can see, the Zinto pen does not dry fast enough in order to use it on this paper. And it did leave those marks when you turned the page. So that would bother me. And even though I love the Zinto, I could live without it in this particular planner. It is very inky and very dark on this particular paper. But I didn't want to give up quite yet on it, so I do continue to use it a little bit more. The mild liner also works well on this paper. However, it's hard to see because I had picked such a light mild liner option. I do have more colors in the mild liners than I do in the Tombows, so that would be an option. Now I am trying my capless fountain pen from Pilot, and we're going to give that a shot and see how it works. And it did leave a few tiny dots, but nothing like the Zinto pen did. Next up is the Muji .38, and it did write very light on this paper, which is okay, but it wasn't my favorite. It did not leave any residue when you close the page, but it just seemed a little light to me compared to other inks, which does make sense since it is a .38, but it's never seemed to bother me before, so I'm not sure if it's just because I'm used to a thicker pen now, or it's just because I don't like it on this paper. Not sure, but it does work well. But let's grab a slightly darker mild liner so we can tell a little better how this looks on the page. And I do like the mild liner. I might even like the mild liner more than the Tombow, which is weird because most people seem to like the Tombow better. And it might just be because I don't have enough control over the brush tip yet. And then I decided that I would drop in a box sticker for a birthday, but I was trying to find one that was small enough because most of my stickers are made for letter size paper, even when I have this weekly view that I'm looking at. So I do like how the boxes fit up there. I would just have to be conscious of how I size those boxes, but I do think that it would work well. And again, this page is not very difficult to transform into a 2025 page, and I do like the image over in the sidebar. I would not use the Zinto pen on this planner at all, and there isn't a lot of bleed through, and the little bit of bleed through that is there, it does not bother me. So I'm also going to look at next week and white out the dates and rewrite them in, and also cover up that date calendar over in the sidebar again. And I could have probably done this all in those Papermate Flare pens. I really like how they write, and they are the right thickness for me. So I could have used these across the board, but I don't know why I chose to use other pens. I also like that it's the right color gray for what's already on the page. I do not like that Sunday is red. That does bother me. So if I could change something about this planner so far, it would be that Sunday is on red. So I'm going to use these wintry images to cover up that calendar that is from last year. And I am just going to cut it down a little bit so that it is not so overwhelming. Since again, I did size this for a letter sized planner. So I will just trim off the edge and then I will put it down on my page and trim off the overhang. There will become a time where this is a problem once I put 52 stickers down to cover up those calendars. It could get quite bulky in that one area, so that could end up being a problem down the road. We would just have to see. I do know that in general, if you're adding things to this planner, it is going to bulk up quite a bit, which I expect. But if you're putting the stickers on the same spot every week, that is what I would be concerned about being a bigger problem. So let's grab some more pens and start writing in the plans for next week. And after my day today, I probably should have waited until Sunday to write these things in because they have already changed. And I tend to write in friction pens most of the time so that I can erase. But in this particular instance, I am not. So that means I will either have to cross things out or white them out. But I thought I would go through and just highlight the times that I had a meeting or an appointment, and then over top, I would write with this Papermate Inkjoy. And again, this Papermate pen also works very well on this page. Now, ask me why I wrote in blue when it does not go with the theme at all. I have no idea. I have probably 20 different colors that I could have chosen, and I'm betting there was a deep purple that I could have used, but I just grabbed the blue one. So overall, I like how this looks, but the question is, do I put other things on the weekly spread? I do like to put to-do items in the left sidebar, but do I do like my normal weekly cleaning routine across the bottom? I'm not really sure how I would use this planner. I'm still trying to figure that out a little bit. I did go back and pull some number stickers, and I like how nicely they cover that area. So that is also an option for any of these spreads. And then I will just drop in a small to-do list over on that sidebar as well. The other thing I did order from Coffee Monsters Co. are tabs. So hopefully when those come in, I can get those put into this notebook and I'll be able to flip back and forth a little easier. On the individual day pages, the only thing that I'll be whiting out is the day of the week. I'm not worried about the moon phases. I don't really look at those, so I'm not concerned about those things. But I'm looking at this daily page and I really don't like how the hours are broken down. I wish they had more detail and they just ran all the way down the page so that I had room to rewrite my calendar and then pencil in the other items that I needed to complete through the day. But honestly, having it that close together, it is very hard for me to even write those calendar items that I have every day. So I'm not sure how useful that time section is going to be. I personally have been trying to get away from rewriting things every day or every week. So I'm trying to come up with a better template in my own planner. So it seems like I'm going backwards if I were to go to this planner and then have to relay out every page of every day. That seems like it would get a little redundant, and I don't know that I would do it. So, this may be just because I picked the wrong Hobonichi. So, I'm not going to write off Hobonichi altogether. I'm not really ready to write this planner off altogether either. It's just that is one area that I just do not love about this particular planner. It's also a little difficult to use this planner the first partial week of the year because we don't have our normal lives happening. The kids are off school. Most of the people that I work with are still on holiday. So until next week, it will be very hard to try this planner out for real. Although I do see how people who are either using this as memory keeping or they don't necessarily have set calendar items like I do, all the meetings and things, I can definitely see the attraction for this planner and the extra space that it allows you for things like stickers and stamping and all of the decorative fun items. But that's not something that I am currently interested in this stage of life. I feel like I'm too busy to add one more thing of having to decorate a page just for fun. I think I would rather get my scrapbooking stuff out and scrapbook over doing something along those lines. But later in life, when my scrapbooking is done for when my kids were little, maybe this is something that I would lean towards. The stamping part was really fun, and I could see me going to town using my stamps. So that part was very attractive to me. I'm just going to stamp out a few images so that we can see what it looks like on the backside of the page. And my stamp pads are not super inky or juicy, so I wasn't worried about turning the page and getting that reverse image on the opposite page. And I do love the look of those pages where people journal and drop in stickers and stamps and all of those things. But again, the time factor for me, I'm not sure that I have the time to invest in something like this. And I'm the type of person who it would bother me if there was 3 weeks of the planner that was blank. But all that being said, I still want to give this planner a shot, but it will not be every day. It will not be every week. It will just be when I feel like going and doing something creative and having a little fun outside of my normal planner. That's when I'll dive into this. Or I will grab the notebook that I bought that has 160 GSM that I want to be able to decorate and have fun in. I just need a little bit more space for that creative outlet that I am craving. So, no pressure, just whenever I feel like it, I'm going to jump in. And that was the other reason why I went with a 2024 planner. It is already out of date, so there is no pressure for me to try to keep up with a 2025 planner. So I will jump in here and there and see how it is working. And I will bring you along with me as I plan and play in this planner, in my other notebooks, in my journals, any of the areas that I just need to let off a little creativity, I would love to bring you along. So if you're interested in any of this Hobonichi Cousin content that I'm going to put together, or anything that I'm going to do in my 160 GSM notebook, or any HB90 videos, goal setting videos, disc bound planner setup videos, if you are interested in any of that content, I would invite you to subscribe if you aren't already. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. I really enjoyed last year and look forward to building a community in the upcoming year. But let me know down below if there are videos that you are interested in seeing, or if there are specific topics that you would like me to delve into. So overall, I do like the paper in this planner, which is odd because I wouldn't say that about all the planners if they were this type of paper. You can definitely see the stamping and the ink from the pens through the paper, but for some reason it doesn't bother me. And maybe that's because I already knew that it did that. But if you're using all of the pages, it just kind of blends in, if that makes sense. So it might bother me since I won't be using all the pages, but I still think it is a fun way to use my creativity and just do something a little different than the planner that I've been using for the last couple years. So what else does this planner have in it? I don't know that I've flipped through these back sections. So there are 2 pages, 3 pages of grid paper. There's a timetable, a graph you can do, some favorites. You can make a list of 100 things. I'm not sure I need to do that. An interview with yourself. There's some other just notes, words to remember, 365 days checkoff sheet, and then gifts, addresses, and some personal notes. So I'm not sure that I'll use any of that back area, but I am still contemplating using this section as an index and then using the January, February, and March of 2025 for those things that I reference often in my normal planner, such as school calendars, bell schedules, things like that. But let's go ahead and put January together. I did find some number stickers for the whole month, and I decided that I would go ahead and use these here. I don't think that I have a need to use them anywhere else. So, although I don't want to quote unquote waste stickers, I thought that this would be a good use for them. I am whiting out all the numbers for the days of the month so they don't end up peeking out from behind the sticker itself. I do try to put down as little of whiteout as possible on Saturday and Sunday since the background behind those are not white. And then I will just put the numbers directly over that whiteout area. And I am using tweezers here. I don't use tweezers often, but I didn't have a good way of getting these down on the paper without using the tweezers here. So let me know if you are a Hobonichi fan and what you use your Hobonichi for. I am still really drawn to this planner and I want to find a way to use it that will be useful and won't be just another thing that I need to check off my to-do list. So I do like how this looks other than Saturday and Sunday. So I think I would have preferred a slightly larger stickers possibly, or maybe white or gray stickers so that there wasn't as much of a contrast between the stickers and that background color on Saturday or Sunday. But I'm just going to go through and use that dot marker and my capless fountain pen from Pilot to write in all of the birthdays and appointments and holidays throughout this month. I'm curious if I would ever use box stickers here. They would definitely need to be smaller than what I currently use, but I think I would probably prefer boxes over just handwriting, or maybe if I highlighted behind the text. I just feel like it's not popping off the page like I would have liked it to. And then if I put boxes or highlighting down and then write other things in, those things would still pop off the page a little bit, if that makes sense. But it was still looking a little bare, so I did go back to my sticker collection, and I love the cherry stickers, so I grabbed those. The rest of the stickers to me seem a little too summery, so I will just stick with the cherry and lay down some washi tape. Now, I will say that if I use this planner regularly, the red and the gray would really bother me because I don't use a lot of red and gray in my planner together anyway. I do use a lot of gray, and I'm pretty sure I use red florals, but that vibe just is not what I am normally drawn to. So it would end up bothering me that it was red and gray. Also, another reason why I am mostly a Franken planner, because I do like to find the spreads that work the best for me and fit in best with my taste. And that's really what I want everyone else to find for themselves are the planners or planner or journal that works the best for them. So I will continue to play with this planner, and I'm actually excited about it, even though I know that it's not the planner for me right now. But it's always fun to have something else that you can just be creative in, and I don't have to worry about messing anything up because this isn't my main planner. But maybe by next year, I will have a system down and I will choose this planner. I did like being able to go through some of my pens and find out which things worked and which ones didn't without any stress of messing up my main planner. And then we'll go and look at the shadowing, ghosting, bleed through, whatever you want to call it. But I personally don't mind it in this planner. There are cases where I don't want this to happen, but in this particular instance, I am okay with it. But it's definitely something to keep in mind when you are picking your planner. But it's all about finding the planner that works best for you and in the phase of life that you are currently in. I hope that you have found the planner that works for you right now. I look forward to doing more in my Hobonichi Cousin, and I hope you are along for the ride. I hope that everybody has a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!